I love bao buns as a quick, easy entertainer, as a quick, easy dinner, or as just a snack. These beautiful little pillowy pockets of just light goodness made by Mr. Chen's are super easy to cook, 7 minutes in a steamer. You can fill them with anything you like, but I like to fill them with mushrooms. I think mushrooms add a really nice texture, sort of that soft, slightly juicy mushroom that you can get lots of flavour into. So the first thing we need to do is get our mushrooms going. So hot skillet. I like cast iron, you can use a fry pan, whatever you like. Butter in, just because mushrooms and butter are very good friends. So now that butter's started to melt, I've got a few different mushrooms here on my plate. So little baby button mushrooms to give us a nice texture. Then some sliced Swiss browns, again, a different texture. And these interesting ones here, these are shimiji mushrooms. So another variety of mushroom you can find at Coles, just grown in these like little clumps. And when you cook them, they get a really nice chewiness and you can actually use most of the mushrooms, so I'll show you how to prepare that in a sec. But we can go in with our Swiss brown and our buttons and let them fry and start to soften and cook down. Now, for our shimijis, we just take off the base, which was where the mushroom was growing, and the rest of it we can just now cut into little chunks to give it nice texture in our dish. And a bit like all these mushrooms, there's lots of water in them, so they'll shrink down a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. But just take off little chunks and then kind of use the core or the base as a guide to cut more little chunks. So you got nice, interesting looking little pieces of mushroom. You can see here now already our mushrooms are starting to take on a nice golden colour from the butter and the fry pan. That's exactly what we're after at this early stage. Now we can make a little gap in the centre, add our shimijis in so they get a bit of time to fry and golden up as well. And now we want to cook this until all of our mushrooms soften down and take on a little bit of colour. At this stage, we can give our mushrooms a little season, and now we're going to make our dressing for it. So only a little pinch of salt, because we've got a few salty ingredients going into our dressing for our mushies. So glass bowl, and I've got some oyster sauce. I love oyster sauce. It's got that salty, really delicious flavour, that great texture. Mr. Chen's is a delicious oyster sauce. Bit of honey for our sweetness. That's going to help glaze our mushrooms, make them go that nice sort of sticky, shiny look. And then some black vinegar. So that'll add the brightness and the acidity to the party. Some hoisin sauce, that sweetness and slight spice. Garlic, because mushrooms and garlic, no brainer. And then I've just got a bit of five spice here. So there's a bit of five spice in our hoisin, but I really like the five spice in this mushroom mix, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Just mix it together till that honey is all combined into everything else. And the five spices mixed through. Now that our glaze is mixed together, we're about 7 minutes away from being ready, which is perfect because these bao buns take 7 minutes to cook from frozen in our steamer basket. So I've got my steamer going here. I just put a little bit of baking paper in the base that I've cut some holes in so that we can steam our buns and they won't stick to our bamboo basket. So to cook these guys, it's so simple. Just take them out of the pack from frozen. You can see these little bao pockets. And as you can see, it's just it's a dough ball that's been flattened out and then folded over, and that little opening there, as it steams, will open up. We can stuff that full of our beautiful mushroom mix. So just spread out our frozen bao buns evenly through our steamer, just because we don't want them to stick as they steam. So I think 5 fits in there nicely. Lid back on, and in 7 minutes, that'll be done. So we've got 7 minutes to get these mushrooms ready to go. Now we've got to finish our mushrooms off, and it's pretty simple. You can see they're nice and golden and cooked down. They've reduced down a lot. Now we're just going to add in our glaze. And I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. As soon as that glaze hits the pan, you smell that oyster sauce, the hoisin sauce, the fire spice and the garlic. Now we're just going to turn the heat down a little bit and gently reduce this down so it sort of thickens and coats those mushies. So you've got what resembles like a pulled pork mix, but it's going to be a pulled mushy mix. Sticky, glazed, and perfect to stuff into our bao buns. Our bao buns have been steaming for 7 minutes. Heat off of our wok. You can see here our mushroom mix has cooked down and glazed and just looks awesome. That just over rice would be great, but it's going to be even better in one of our bao buns. Now, very carefully, steamer off the heat, and just leave that for, oh, uncover it first so you can see how beautiful these Mr. Chen's bao buns look. So now to fill our bao buns, it's pretty simple. You just kind of really gently just open up your bao bun like that. And now I'm going to use a couple of my sort of favourite ingredients to go with this mushroom mix. One is some mayonnaise, and I like the Kewpie mayonnaise because it's got that nice seasoning. Spread that across the base of our bao bun just to add that delicious mayo flavour. And then a couple of pickles as well. Slide your pickles in, and I like them hidden at the back, so tuck them away so you get a little pop of brightness that you don't expect. And then it's time for our mushy mix. So a nice spoonful of this into our bao bun, making sure you get some of that sauce as well. And then just to finish it off for a bit of freshness, got a whole sprig of coriander, or the tip of a sprig of coriander. Chuck that on top, and there you have a beautiful little bao bun. I'd actually serve these back in the steamer basket, lid on top. When you get to the table or when you take it on a tray to your guests, lift the lid off. It looks really cool. And there you go. That's our beautiful Mr. Chen's bao buns. They're soft, they're light, they're fluffy, stuffed with that really juicy mushroom mix with the hoisin, with the oyster sauce, with all those delicious things mixed in.